Hi guys, it's Dr. Cassidy. I'm here with GeorgiaSTEM, and I wanted to take a moment to just come and talk to you guys about some math. So sometimes when we look at these data points that are coming in, it can get really frustrating because we can't tell what the virus is really doing. There's a lot of different elements that go into that. Some of it is because the testing has been so low here compared to some other places. Some of it is because we have some data that is coming out that's very skewed because we have some data points on our map that are very localized to assisted living homes and things like that. So the death rate's much higher there because we know that it is affecting the elderly in a much more virulent rate, in a much more virulent way than it is other age groups. So I wanted to go through for just a minute and take the time to go through these slides that you'll find at the website www.georgiastem.com/COVID COVID math. No spaces, just like that. All right, here we go. All right, so we have been tracking the fatality rate of the COVID-19 outbreak since probably back in late February. And how we do this is we just update the numbers every day, and we use the data from the WHO, the CDC, and Johns Hopkins. So we take those numbers and compile them, and we have it's just total cases and total deaths. And so the fatality rate at the beginning, if you go back and look at our post back in end of February, it was holding pretty steady at 3.4. And then we started to see it, creep up a little bit, and now we're all the way up to 4. So a lot of that has to do with the fact that Italy has been overrun. Spain is having some serious issues now, and as you can see, it's creeping up in the United States. Now, it was weird at first because at first in the United States it was like 7%. But the reason was because we had very few cases, but we already had some deaths. So now that we are getting more cases, our fatality rate is dropping because it's a ratio, remember. So the more cases we get and the more deaths that we prevent, the lower our rate will drop. So here in Georgia, we have, as of today, we have 146, I believe, cases, but only one death. So our fatality rate is very low. For a while there, it was 0 until we had that one death. So, all right, so these are the new cases that are being reported. This goes back to like the beginning of March, so March 1st is over here, and you can say this is new cases reported each day. Okay, this comes straight from the WHO. They have on their website, if you want to go back check the data, and if you see something wrong, let us know. But on the WHO's website, it'll show you the new cases every single day and how many are reported to them. And so if you look, we were getting about, I don't know exactly how many, you'd have to look, 2,300 maybe, or 2,200 cases a day worldwide. And then as you see, as we've gone through the month, it is like started to creep up. What's most concerning is we're up to right around, above 10,000 new cases every day. Now, if you look at the United States, see right here, we're actually starting to drop a little bit. Georgia's held pretty steady. I mean, we would have to zoom in. So let's zoom in and look. So here is the new cases for the worldwide, just the worldwide. So you can see that's the same line that we just saw in the other graph, but it's by itself now, so you can just kind of interpret. And the reason we pulled it out by itself is because this scale makes sense for this line, okay? But when you go to the next one, this scale makes a lot more sense, okay? So let's go back and I'll show you. See, look, 12,540. Okay, so this is just for Georgia. So if you look, we had no cases, no cases, no cases, 2, none, 2 or 3. It keeps bouncing around. So we hit our peak a couple days ago, but I would imagine that this is going to bounce around a little bit just depending on who we're testing and how much we're testing and all those wonderful things. All right, this is an approximation. This is one of the posts that we did get yelled at kind of a lot online about. At first, when we did this, we were like, we're only testing this number of people, and this number of people have tested positive, and the number was like 97% of the people we had tested positive. We think a lot of that was going on because we weren't testing people early enough. We thought that they had the flu, we thought that they had some kind of other respiratory ailment. Now we're testing much more. These numbers are not perfect. They come from several different sources. None of those sources seem to agree. So we have a low test rate, okay, and then we have a high test rate. So we're testing somewhere between 12 out of every million people to 14 out of every million people, okay, or 0.0012% up to 0.0014%. Okay, there are approximately 329 million people in the United States, and we're testing just a small fraction of that. So we're testing about 12 to 14 or 15 people out of every million. Of the people that we are testing, somewhere between 55 and 62% of those people that we test are testing positive, and then 1.6 of those 6% of those people actually pass away from the disease. So that's where we are right now. All right, this was updated as of 12 o'clock today. And these are the counties in Georgia. These are all of the numbers of cases that they have. The yellow ones are the ones that have reported new cases since yesterday, so that means that they're still growing and expanding. The green ones are counties that we already knew that there were cases there, but we haven't gotten any new cases in the last 24 hours. So Cherokee, Daughtry, Fayette, Gordon, Lee, Henry, Polk, Charlton, Newton, Hall, Forsyth, and Paulding are all holding steady. They haven't produced any new cases, okay? Whereas these four guys down here on the end, Barrow, Columbia, Rockdale, and Richmond, are brand new today. We haven't seen those guys yet. They just popped up. And then all the yellow ones have been here, but they have new cases. It looks like one of the bigger movers was Gwinnett. Originally, this was in an order of, greatest to smallest. Gwinnett is now up to 7, so he or she, however you want to think about it. Button Gwinnett was a guy, so we'll call it a he. He needs to be moved up here, more towards Cherokee. Okay, then we have most of these little guys down here. Lowndes County needs to be moved up here a little bit, probably above Coweta. Clark is going up, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. That's kind of where we are. All right, this was a Testing Matters post that we did. I do not like the way this graph came out, but unfortunately with Google Sheets there's no way to flip these data points so that they're on their side, but you can still see kind of what's going on. Alright, so the blue is how many people are testing, the red is how many people are testing positive, and the yellow is how many people are dying. Okay, so as you can see, the United States has got way more positive tests than everybody else. But the problem, or the reason that's happening, is because we're only testing a very small percentage of our population. So the population percentage that we're testing are testing positive. But if you go over here and you look at South Korea, they're testing right at 30% of their population. And their positive rate's only at like 4.2, and their death rate's only at 0.83. But they're pretty much testing everybody. It's if you have a sniffle, they're testing you. They're doing like drive-through testing stations. We just don't have the number of tests and the resources yet to do that here. We're working on it. I watched the address last night from the president and talking to the governors about trying to procure resources on their own. I know that our governor Kemp has reached out to some of the universities to make sure that we have enough machines available. So we're just kind of working with where we are and trying to get more people tested and more people quarantined and isolated, and that way we can stop this thing from spreading. If you're interested in more data, you definitely should go check out the post on the R naught, or the reproductive rate. There's also another post on COVID compared to flu. There's a post on COVID compared to other viral disorders or viral diseases. Lots and lots of things for you to check out on the website. Go there, leave us a comment, share on social media, help us get the word out and make sure that people are getting reliable information. All right, have a great day. Thanks.